Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is the Horde Job, a deck using Homunculus Horde as a way to generate tokens in numbers, then take down life totals with a massive attack. We added the Horde to a basic Italian job shell with cards to take advantage of making tokens. We've got a good number of the weapons we use in the series, weapons that give us the edge in long games. Let's get the shell in there. We're playing 3 copies of Stormchaser's Talent, a key card in this series. It gives us an otter token that we can use to block early enemies or take it to the opponent if they are slow to start. Later, we can level up the talent to get back a sorcery or instant from our grave. It's a great way to reuse our powerful cards a second or third time. Taking it to level 3 gives us a token with every instant and sorcery we fire off. Because of this, it can be a win con on its own. We've added 3 Get Lost to the deck, instead of the outstanding bounce we were using earlier. This gives us a way to deal with not just enemy men, but opposing enchantments and planeswalkers as well. Sure, we give the opponent a pair of map tokens, but that is a small price to pay for having the flexibility to take out 3 different permanent types for only 2 mana and at instant speed. Auroral Procession is a fantastic card that we can fire off at instant speed to get any card back from our grave. This gives us a chance to reuse any of our cards that could potentially give us an edge over the opponent. The Doppel is our signature card. It will give us token copies of any permanent we want. We can even copy the opponent's permanents if having multiples would give us an advantage. This is a great way to make a bunch of Horde tokens that can then multiply on their own for even greater numbers. Caretaker's Talent is a fantastic card for any token deck, and we're playing 3 copies here. With every token we generate, the talent will give us an extra draw, and for 1 white mana, we can make a token copy of any token we already control. The draw might end up being a bit too much if all 3 copies are played out, so be careful with this enchantment. Taking it up to level 3 gives our token men a stat boost that makes our tokens dangerous. Quick Study is a fast draw 2 card. At 3 mana, we can fire it off early or later when we have a Horde in play. We can use it at instant speed to draw a pair of cards and trigger the Horde to multiply. 3 mana is key for us here, as sometimes that is all the shuffler wants to give us. That is the reason some of our cards were strategically chosen to be able to work effectively at the 3 mana slot. Are there better cards? Certainly. But are there better ones at 3 mana or less? If there are, please let me know. Stock Up is one of those strategically placed cards. Sure, the consult might be better later in the game, but it's early when we need the most help. And for 3 mana, there's simply nothing else that gets the job done so effectively. We'll get to look at the top 5 cards of our deck and take the 2 we want. It's a great way to fuel up on lands or grab some mass creature control for the team of enemy men the opponent has put together. Later in the game, it's still great at finding cards we need to outpower the opponent and make them bite their finger. The Horn of Plenty is one of the best mana artifacts in the current standard. Even as bloated as it is with so many sets, the Horn of Plenty puts in more work than most. It will fix our colors, ramp us, and gain us life once per turn with every card we fire off. There truly is no substitute. Aetherize is the first of our sweeper-like effects. While not a true sweeper, this will buy us time to continue setting up our board, and we can use it to weaken the opponent's board, but leave ours intact. Sure, it doesn't eliminate enemy men, but when used against a very aggressive opponent, it can easily buy us a turn or 2, and that's what we're looking for. Plus, we can get it back at instant speed even, for a second go around to minimize the impact of the opponent's men on our life total. The Horde is one of our weapons that will multiply itself whenever we draw a second card each turn. We have ways to draw extra cards on our turn to easily trigger the Horde into producing token copies that can quickly populate our board. While the Horde multiplies well enough on its own, we have brought ways to speed up the process. A Caretaker's Talent can make a token copy for 1 white mana if we have a token Horde already, and the Doppel can power out a pile of token Hordes. Elspeth can not only make tokens, but her ability to double the tokens we generate will make our board explode. Beyond the Quiet is our permanent solution for teams of enemy men. This can easily give us a chance to keep developing our board and take out enemy men regardless of their abilities. As a sorcery, we can get it back with a Stormchaser's talent or even a Procession in cases the opponent is playing a very resilient deck. Elspeth, Stormslayer will double the amount of tokens we generate, and her +1 ability gives us a token. This is a great way to make small blockers, and her 0 loyalty ability gives our men a stat boost as well as flying. This can be a great way to get in for damages if we have a small team and the ground is clogged with enemy men. Her -3 ability gives us a removal effect for enemies that are 3 mana or more. The green Virtue is a powerhouse ramp card. Early, we can use it get back a land from our grave, a Fabled Passage, for example, that we can play and use again to get more lands into play. Then, once we have the mana, we can drop it in as an enchantment, and it will triple the amount of mana we get from our basic lands. Having 2 of them in play will give us 9 times the amount of mana. That makes it very easy to power out enormous doppels and potentially take out the opponent with 1 massive turn. For lands, we're playing 2 Fountainport, the special land we can use to make tokens or to fat sack them to draw an extra card. 4 Fabled Passage, the special land we can fat sack to fetch out any basic from our deck. 1 Urban Retreat, the special land that enters tapped but will provide us a mana in one of our colors. 1 Lush Oasis, the Simic Desert. 1 Creosote Heath, the Selesnya Desert. 1 Lonely Arroyo, the Azorius Desert. 4 Forest, 2 Ba Sing Se, the special land we can use to earthbend lands. 4 Island, and 4 Plains. Playing the deck is very much the same as any of our Italian job decks, with the only difference being the focus on tokens. Early, we look to build our board and use what we've drawn to keep enemy men under control, using our draw spells to fetch out specific cards we need, or to find more lands that can help us leverage our powerful cards later. Patience is the key early. Later in the game, we can outpower most opponents with our combination of threats, removals, and wipes and card draw. We are weak in the early game, but the mid to late game is when we dominate. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is an alt account. Maybe it's an alt's alt account. You scare me, bro. We're kicking things off with a 3-lander that's loaded with triple stock up, a Procession, and double passage. This is an insta-keep. Your pants. On. I mean, we're guaranteed to have at least one of each of our colors, and the stock up action can find what we need in a pinch. Let's go, boys. This hand can rock and roll. They throw down an Is It Surveil land? Their monkey action does not scare me. You have come to play with the big boys. What is this? Their play is a percussionist. Not at all what I was expecting. We draw a sweeper, but first we have stock up in triplicate to get through. Fire in the percussionist hole. We'll take the Virtue here, and the second planes will do nicely. While this version of the deck did well, I think we were better off without Case of the Uneaten Feast, and the spot removal the Get Lost gives us is a better bet. They don't seem to know what to do. Keep your pants on, bro. They go with an Emissary. Maybe they're on a synthesizer deck? That would be a total twist of fate. And they follow up with a Guardian. All that's missing is a factory outlet over there. They could have been hard at work slashing prices instead of making burritos. Hey, a couple of your beans spilled out. Oh god, those aren't beans. Let's grab a passage with our Virtue. That will ensure we have 5 mana on our next turn, then we can fire off stock up number 2. I like the Horn of Plenty, I always do. Let's take it and the Stormchaser's talent. This does take us to 8 cards in hand, and while it might look like our pants are down, we can toss the case. It's not as critical as our other cards. They go full metal Emissary and drop it in for its full price. Bro was just not happy with the 5 damages he's got on board. I find opponents are a little too eager to play cards out when maybe they should hold some back in reserve. Play with patience, boys. The cards you have in hand are a resource that shouldn't be thrown away so quickly. They've got 3 cards left in hand, with 4 cards on the table. That means this will be an easy 4-for-1, and with their options limited by their 3 cards in hand, they're going to struggle to press damages. Just wait until we throw down the Horn of Plenty and start reversing the damages they've done. They go with a Fugitive Droid. He is not the droid we're looking for. They've got 5 mana, and that was the best they could do. They probably scooped due to embarrassment. Your deck needs more synthesizer, bro. That's GG's, no cheese needed. This is Cry Rhino, born in the year 1988. Just don't call him Jabba the Hutt. We get a 3-lander with a rather slow hand. We will have at least 1 of each of our colors, and we can get to 5 mana easily with this. Keep your pants on. They throw down an Evolving Wilds and fat sack it right away. There's only one deck that does that. Welcome Landfall to the big show, boys. You can't go wrong with Land Pump, am I right, bro? They smell it. It already stunk before, but now it's overpowering. They ended up with a slow hand themselves, which is what you get when you rely on those awful lands you have to fat sack. All we can do this turn is play out our Horn of Plenty, but we don't need to do much more. We can already fire off our sweeper on our next turn if we need it. They go with a Hydra. It's gonna get big, I'm sure. Hail Hydra, am I right, bro? And they even have another land to fat sack. How amazing. Let's clear this up before it gets hairy. If we need to, we can use the procession to get our sweeper back for another round of drinks. Hoist your cup, boys. They march Bill on out there to be the next victim. Bill by himself is useless. He's going to need some friends, bro. Give him some company. Unfortunately for Bill, he's going to have to be the lone warrior. We draw one of our horde. As soon as we settle things down on board, we can play it out. For this turn, we'll go with our second Horn of Plenty. Plenty of mana, plenty of life, and plenty of smashing the opponent. They go with a Golden Turkey, the traveling kind. Thanks to its abilities, it can give them more plays, which is something we'll want to limit. And just like that, they pull a land off the top of their deck. They fire off a bushwhack to go fetch out another forest from their deck. I would be scared, but I wear pants. They send it, and it looks like they might even have some pump. Throw it down, bro. We'll use the procession to get our sweeper back, and thanks to our Horns of Plenty, we'll go right back up to 20 life. It's almost like they haven't done anything all game. We draw another sweeper just in case they can rebuild their board on their turn. An Elvis Archdruid is their play. When you can't landfall your way to a W, you turn to plan Smelf. I've smelfed enough. We could go with our Horde, but if they go out of control, we'll need to clear their men out yet again. Let's play it safe and go with Earthbending a land. It's always good to have options. Just keep in mind that the auto-tapper will not tap artifacts. It will tap all lands first. We could go on the offensive, but if we take a defensive stance, we give ourselves time to draw into our more powerful cards. Let's just hang tight and wait. We've got plenty of creature control. We can just build up a team of lands. If they want to get through for damages, they'll need to commit more to the board, and that will bring them nothing but pain. They hit our island with a removal. It's okay, we can just earthbend it again on our turn. They send it and we'll block up. We're not losing anything, and it might be time to clear their men out. Then we can start looking forward to assembling the Horde team. We draw a desert, which is fine. That will be enough for a 2-point doppel on our following turn. Now we get to smelf them later. Get gone, girls. They drop in a fungus, somebody get some tough actin tenactin. They smash one of our horns, but that too is fine. We can get it back from the grave later on. They won't be able to get their dead men back, though. Those are gone for good. Horde, you're up. All we need now is another mana, and we can doppel for 2. With double Aetherize in hand, there is not much they can do to us now. It's GG's. They just don't know it yet. They play out an Explorer, but that would have been good with the Hydra they played back on turn 3. That was like a year ago. You have to catch up to the present growth. Bro went to go cry in a closet so the neighbors don't hear him. They've got nothing that can hurt us at this point, and they've started to figure that out. That's GG's, all sweeper cheese. This is Connor. He clearly doesn't even know how to spell his name. That's GG's, bro. We get a 4-lander with a talent and an Elspeth. This hand is very slow and is a big risk, but we'll try it out. Keep your hopes up. On schedule, we draw a 5th land. We can go turn 3 talent with turn 5 Elspeth, then draw like madmen. Well, look at that. It's a golden turkey. With our slower hand, they can make a game of it this time. We draw land number 6. We've already got the mana for a 1-point doppel, and we're working on having enough for a 2-point copy. Why? It's our friend the Hydra. Hail Hydra. Steve Rogers would understand. We hit 3 mana, and we'll go with our talent this turn. We did draw an Aetherize, which could buy us some time while we wait for more ammo. They double down on Hydra action and are quick to give them some roids. We should be afraid, but we've got an Aetherize. We draw a stock up, which would have been nice earlier. It is better late than never. This turn has to go to our Aetherize. They drop in a heaped harvest that will fetch them out of land, and they'll get more of that sweet, sweet pump action we all know and either hate or love. They send it, and instead of taking 12 damage, we'll go with the option of taking 0 damages. And we get to make them put their Hydras back in their pants. 5 mana is the magic number for Elspeth, and with her in play, we'll get an extra draw thanks to our talent.
More heroes for the cause.
The extra draw gets us a sweeper. Their men are toast, and thanks to our tokens, they're going to have to play cards out if they want to get through for damages. We draw a Horde. We'll want to wait to play it out until after we clear out their Hydras. We'll go with our stock up. Let's grab some more ammo. A Stormchaser's talent is huge here, and we'll take the second Doppel. Once we can start making copies of copies, we'll be able to run the table. Elspeth has a special power called Removal, and we can hit their Hydra. It will not be an issue next turn. We'll follow up with the talent and get an extra draw. And double the otter tokens. They go with a lasting tar fire, an enchantment that dishes out damages if they put a counter on one of their men. Luckily for us, they will be running out of men. Let's send it and see if they block. If they do, it's something like free removals. They do block with their golden turkey, so it's about to be flushed away forever. They have a nice damage system going with their men and enchantments, but that's all predicated on them having men in play. Kind of delicate, if you ask me. They go with another harvest. If I'm not mistaken, the opponent is about to bombo off. I honestly thought this was the end of their turn, but it's their main phase, which means they can just replay their enchantment after we bounce it. It was supposed to be gone for a turn. Let's make up for our oopsie-poopsie with a bit of team pump, and we can send it for some damages. Don't tell me we could have ended them here, because Drunk Me had no idea. But maxing out the Caretaker's talent to double the amount of damage we hit them with would have done it here. We get them down to 7, and that's within reach of our abilities. But to make sure we get some good stuff, we'll fire off a stock up. In the late game, the advantages are usually ours. Without men, they're toast. And we have the means to keep them free of bodies. While Drunk Me didn't realize it, the sober version knows this should have been a virtue grab here. That powers our doppels to immense proportions, and we can smash the opponent with power they could only dream of. They get a sapling nursery, but the problem is, they have an Aetherize to fight through, and there's no chance their tokens will land a hit unless we want them to. We draw a Horn of Plenty, and we'll drop it in. With it, we can doppel for 2. But with a Virtue, we'd be able to doppel for 6. If you learn anything from this, learn to manually tap your Fountainports, because the auto-tapper won't tap them for mana. Once again, decisions were made that were not the right ones. Although the procession is good, the Horde would have been better. With the land, we can doppel for a full 3. That's the one good decision here.
I welcome all allies.
The opponent thought they were onto something by making a couple of instant speed treefolk tokens, but we've got those covered. They send it, and we'll make their team vanish into thin air. Don't threaten me with a good time. Now all they've got left is 2 cards in hand and hopes and dreams. Now that we can doppel for 3, let's unleash one of these bad boys. Let's copy up our talent, their nursery, and one of our lands. In response, they fat sack their nursery. Bear witness to our doppel being used as a removal. Their primary weapon is gone. That's GG's right there. The rest is a formality. Thanks to Elspeth, we get double the tokens, so instead of 3 damages, we hit them for 6 from our lands. And we get double the otter tokens. I'm pretty sure they're not playing Aetherize and Beyond the Quiet, so good luck trying to block our men now. That's what I thought, GG's, extra token cheese. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.